First off, Grand Rising, morning, peace. How was your morning? My morning was great. Had a little workout this morning. Feel good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I woke up ready. Super ready. It was a great sleep. It's how I go to sleep. Get good rest.
I was happy you saying you was going to sleep early. That was good.
Yeah, I needed it.
Yeah. And today's subject is cancel culture. You know, and how pervasive it is and damaging and all of the things, and just share our views on it and hear your comments later.
Word.
I'm Mahogany.
I'm Age.
And this is Culture Currency.
But culture
is the value.
So cancel culture is the practice of publicly withdrawing support from an individual or entity, often on social media due to actions or opinions deemed offensive or unacceptable.
Yep.
Pretty much a social media boycott.
Right.
Right? How you feel about cancel culture?
is lack of due process.
Mm-hmm.
It's lack of due process.
That's where I'm at with it.
Right. It's lack of due process where we're not getting all the information. We get these splices, we get the 30-second reels, and we get the shorts, and we get these things, and we're saying, oh, this is that, you know. And so many times people like, because you heard what they said. Who's they?
Mm-hmm.
Who is
Put a
they?
name on it.
Put a name on it.
Put a name on the bullet.
Right. And is this real information? Do these people have an invested interest?
Is there context?
Yeah. What is the context? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot to be said. Like, we can have a discussion and somebody could take a small sound bite.
Right.
And that sound bite can mean something, a bunch of different things to a lot of people.
That's right.
When you don't have context,
when it's taken out of the context, right?
So when you have a full discussion,
right?
I've had to actually respond to people who commented under some of our posts,
right?
And made statements according to the little soundbite that they watched, and I'm like, do me a favor, and go watch the entirety of the episode.
Exactly.
Not because I'm trying to get you to watch our episode,
right?
But because I want you to make an informed decision.
That's right.
Right. Understand what it is you're speaking on before you make, an assessment.
And then so
what come to a conclusion, I should say.
And what you just defined is what we call media literacy. So the same way how we know how a lot of us know how to read, we know how to write, we understand how to manage our finances. We also have to understand what we're viewing in the media. What is it that we're seeing? Who is it that's giving us the information? Why? And then it's very important to hear different opinions so that you can form your own. Like sometimes I'll sit and watch Fox News. I want to see what the other side is saying. You know, and then I'll go to NPR, and then I'll figure out what's my opinion based on the information that's provided to me and hearing from the different sides, you know? But if you're getting these splices and say, oh, this is my opinion, actually it's not your opinion. It's someone else's opinion that you just brought on to.
Regurgitating
that you just regurgitating information. And it's really important that we do our deep research, especially if you plan to hop on a bandwagon. Know what wagon you're on and know what direction they're going in and who's leading you there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, what's funny is we have another episode in regard to social emotional development.
Yes.
And that is completely aligned with that understanding.
Why you say that?
Because whoever controls your emotions controls you.
Right.
They're your master.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So there's a lot going on out here when it comes down to feelings. Everybody's feeling things. And they are responding according to these feelings. And they don't understand that that's taking their power away from themselves, right? That you lose all of your power the moment that somebody is able to make you move how they desire you to move.
That's right.
And it just connects to that.
I love that. I'm definitely going to encourage people to become media literate because most of our lives is social media. It's really important that we become social media literate and not just hear these splices and just believe everything that we're hearing from everyone that's an expert and move on that. Do your own research.
And sometimes the people that you listen to aren't experts in anything.
Right.
And it's just connecting to something that you can relate to on some level, usually through the emotional level.
Right.
And so now it becomes law.
Right.
And we got to be careful of
We
that.
got to be careful of that. And also, before you share things, look into it and see where it came from before you just share something. Because now you're spreading news that you don't even know if it's fake news or not.
Absolutely.
You know, so I'm just
Absolutely.
really, right, I just really call on us to be more socially responsible, because the cancel culture is not social justice when it's misinformed, when it lacks due process and affecting someone's life without, I just said due process, but without that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It used to be that activism was the foundation of what cancel culture is, and now it's morphed into something totally different. I'm disconnected to the ways in which it's being utilized, not necessarily the idea of it. Cancel culture is meant to hold accountable. Right. It's not meant to be a bullying tactic.
It basically is bullying a bully. Mm-hmm. And that's never what you want to do, even when you think about young people and teaching them how to, engage with each other, resolve conflicts. You don't bully the bully or have your kids bully the bully. That's when restorative practices come in and it becomes a teachable moment. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you're basically describing cancel culture as, giving folks a chance to, like you said, redeem themselves, restore community and things of that nature.
The civil rights movement, the LGBTQ activism, feminist movements, those were the first cancel cultures, where it was like public pressure for change and advocacy for change, where we shut things down for change.
And now we don't even give people a chance. It's like once a person is down, we're crushing their necks.
Absolutely.
We're crushing their necks. And then where on earth is that okay? I just don't get that part.
In my youth, I would say I absolutely bullied bullies. Mm-hmm. You see change behavior, right? But the change behavior isn't coming by way of a lesson.
Right,
it's
exactly.
coming by way of fear.
Right.
And fear does not actually, it doesn't help things. You know what I mean? It weakens things.
And it could cause a bigger problem.
Absolutely.
That's further mental health for another person. And, so it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't solve anything. And sometimes it's temporary or it's in certain locations. This person won't act this way over here, but over there, now they're even worse because of the terror that they face because, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it just become pervasive like that. And then one thing about cancel culture also are the real life consequences. People are behind their computers on their phones with their Twitter fingers, but there are real life consequences in people's lives with this. So we're doing these hashtags and we're just throwing out these misinformed blanket statements, but we're not thinking about the impact that it may have, that it will have, it does have on people's bottom line, which is their livelihood.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And the thing that everything always comes back to for me is that we're all connected. So we don't believe that when we're doing these things, we don't understand that it's actually having impact on us too. I just look at it as like a snowball effect when we're not doing things fairly.
That's right. We're all in this together and we depend on each other more than we know. For example, we depend on the bus drivers to get us to where we're going and not just hit a building because they feel like it. You know what I mean? We depend on architects to design buildings in a way that's stable in the structure. We depend on each other so much on a day-to-day basis that if we owned that and understood that, we will have more empathy and care for each other. It's really not a me against you.
Any examples of someone who within our culture that was canceled and what do you see coming from that?
Diddy, and I don't know how he's going to bounce back from it if and when he comes home, because he went from an icon to me is like the most hated,
to being a slur,
you know what I mean? So that's the one that's just most prevalent because you see it everywhere and everyone's subscribing to it. When I heard my almost 70-year-old uncle say no Diddy, I'm like, this is going too far, man. That's crazy.
No way.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say like I have a over concern about it. I just have a concern about the culture in itself.
The health of the culture.
Right.
Anything that jeopardizes it,
right,
we're going to have our opinions on it.
Yeah. Right.
I wrote down Kanye. I had a discussion recently, actually, via social media, a comic that I follow. She posed a question on her podcast after his recent slurs.
What were his recent slurs?
I don't want to misquote him. he's trying to show the compare and contrast. He
Of
could
what?
say nigga all day. They could pay people to say this, that, and about black people. No one gets
But you
canceled.
can't say kike or
no
nothing
one,
like that. Yeah.
and you say something about a specific group,
Right.
and it's over for you,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
he made that statement
Yeah.
last,
Uh-huh.
right? So this comedian was asking the question, do we believe that was his intention all along? And my response was, I don't believe that's his initial intention.
No,
I believe that he has studied rage baiting, noticed that rage baiting can work in his favor when it comes down to marketing, so he uses it. And secondly, decided to show the hypocrisy along with it. Because Kanye is also being canceled by people who look like him. I could violate y'all all day long. And no one cares. Nobody's martyring for y'all. You know what I mean? But if I say something for them, to them, about them, I am canceled and y'all are on that same bandwagon.
Right.
I thought that was a great discussion to have.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on that is, for one thing that really that was highlighted for me, and what you just said was nobody's I guess advocating for y'all. The thing was for y'all. That's because the community, whatever community it is, has to take care of itself. So when I brought up cancel culture and the examples of it, such as the civil rights movement, we came together to advocate for public change. So you're right. Nobody's going to come and take care of us. We have to take care of ourselves. The same discussion you and I was having this morning about me. You got to take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is the main point, regardless of the points that he made are right. Nobody's coming. We are it. We are the change that we want to see.
Have to be.
So when it comes to having any kind of feelings about people being able to say the N-word but can't say this and can't say that, that's on us to change that. And that's period. It's not the them thing. Who's the mythical them? You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not a mythical them because we know the powers that be in when it comes to the music and all that kind of stuff, but that's because we didn't create a movement around this is not okay. We subscribe to it, and then that's that. We got to take care of ourselves.
First off, I love that response. I agreed with the secondhand nature of why he's doing what he's doing. The secondhand nature.
Right.
The first part is self-serving.
Right.
I'm 100% against that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm all about community.
Right.
So when it comes down to the community discussion, you are 100% correct. We must take care of we.
Yep.
Right? But also, there is something to be said about paying attention to who aligns and who doesn't. Right? Although we are our own responsibility, if someone is okay with you being mistreated, they are not your ally.
Yep. Good point. That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing I can say about that. That's just that. You're right. But that's just something, that's like
It's one of those moments.
It's one of those moments. Yeah. But can you think of anyone that's okay with us being mistreated that we will see as an ally?
It's whether the masses are understanding who their people are and who their people are not.
Or not.
Right?
Right.
There's no such thing as a relationship, right, that serves one side.
Right.
Relationships are reciprocal.
It's reciprocal,
right?
Everyone
is getting something.
That's right.
When it comes to
it's not a
relationship, or it's not a
Right.
relationship.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So there is not a situation where you are relating to someone and they're not getting something or you're not getting something.
Right.
We have to truly identify allyship because you start feeling used.
Right.
It's hard to identify until you have the information what this is. What is this really? It becomes very, very, very blurry if there aren't these things showing, these glaring things that you're able to look for.
And say these are my people, or this is my person.
Exactly.
For example, like I always think about like people who invest in a prison industrial complex, but then they give philanthropic dollars that they're donating to organizations. I don't know if it's self-serving or feel like I'm taking, but I'm also giving. They're redeeming themselves in some kind of way. But that doesn't, anyway. It just made me think about that. It just brought me back to nonprofit and who we receive funds from, and then what like for. Oh, damn, I can't even bring some stuff out. I can't even talk about it. Damn. But it's some folks who are giving, right, or who are given to our initiatives, but they are not our people.
Yeah. My thing is I'm always asking the question that I just brought up. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, you're giving. What are you receiving? What are you receiving? Because that is the key component.
I just wanted to go back to that Kanye example. When you said that these people don't even care about y'all for real. And as soon as they cancel me, you canceling me too. Mm-hmm. You jumping on that. But what are you receiving by doing that?
That part.
Yeah, what are you receiving by doing that?
That part.
What are you getting out of this?
That part.
And really check yourself with that as we relate that to cancel culture and all of that. What are you getting out of that by doing this and doing these things and making these comments and stuff? Like, what are you getting out of that? You feel good about it? Mm-hmm. What are you receiving?
I like that.
What is it about you that you feel like you have to be part of that takedown?
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
I don't think that we should stand firm with we shouldn't be in allyship with people we don't respect, can't count on, all of these different things, just because they have a specific complexion. I don't agree with that.
Right.
But what I will say is because we all have a specific complexion, we should see ourselves in them. Mm-hmm. And when we see somewhat of ourselves in them, we should have some level of grace. Right. There should be some level of grace. It doesn't mean I'm going along with it. It just means that
give them a chance because they are people, because they look like us.
No, I'm saying that don't make the assumption.
You say make sure you have all the information?
I'm saying this. I'm saying I know my standing in this world. Mm-hmm. I know my everyday life. I know how I live. Mm-hmm. I know I'm a great human. Mm-hmm. I know that just because I'm a great human, everybody doesn't assume I'm a great human or doesn't believe I'm a great human.
Right. It depends on their experiences.
It depends on their experiences. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right? I would feel harmed by someone who is supposed to be an ally if they went with the word of someone else just because, versus finding out the information, getting all of the background, and giving me the opportunity to show what it actually is.
Thanks for saying that, because you know what that brings us back to something else we discussed in season 1, the difference between the macro and the micro, right? And then, so the way that then you also brought the point of that we really impact everything, we impact each other. So small examples are larger examples of what's happening in our society.
Absolutely.
So what you discuss also are the ingredients to sustain a healthy relationship. Right? So you can't have someone, that's like somebody coming to me and be like, yo, East, that's crazy. You and Mahog talking, y'all doing y'all thing together and all that, building back. And you know what she said? And I'm like, you lying. And don't come next week to shoot.
Yeah, no conversation.
No conversation.
No, that's my point.
You understand? And then that's exactly what we're doing.
My point.
You're hearing it and you're believing it.
That's my point.
So give grace. Look,
the grace is the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't mean that at the end of the benefit of the doubt, we still aligning.
Right. It doesn't mean that.
It means that I'm going to give myself the opportunity to find out.
Yes.
Is this a fact about this
person? And I think that's only fair, especially because when we look at our celebrities and stuff, these are people that we love and we act like Uncle Jay,
especially
Auntie Mary.
Our people are our people. But then when it gets to negative, we act like they
exactly.
But that is a macro of our micro. Because when you pay attention to us in our households. We canceling each other
every day.
Our households.
We not talking to each other. We not based on what somebody said.
Shutting it down.
You didn't even have a conversation with your people.
Ghosting your people. Ghosting your people.
Come on, talk on it.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's an chills to me because that's so real. And we're not even realizing that this whole cancel culture, how pervasive it is actually showing up in our households. Absolutely. It's showing up in our smaller units, and we got to do better. Point blank, period. We got to do better. That was really good. That was really good.
Yeah,
I like that.
That went where it needed to
Yeah,
go.
I like that.
So
I don't like that.
Nah, so I wrote down thoughts turn to words and words turn to actions.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it pertains to cancel culture, the reason I wrote that down is because I'm like, all of us have thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us should have thoughts. Right? And because our thoughts are not supported by others or aren't respected by others, doesn't mean that the thoughts should remain thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts are anonymous, right? They're anonymous. We run around and we have these thoughts and nobody knows we have these thoughts until they turn into something. They turn into words or turn into actions, right? So there's no responsibility to be taken when it's just a thought, right? Then we move on and we start the speech, the conversation, and then sometimes you're able to catch, oh, this is what this person believes. Now we understand what their thoughts are through their language, right? But instead of us canceling people due to their language, because that's what cancel culture is doing often, like, oh, somebody will find a tweet from years ago and all of a sudden they're canceled for saying it out loud.
Yeah, right.
This life is trial and error.
Yeah.
This life is trial and error.
Right.
So the thoughts actually the thoughts aren't dangerous until they turn into something, but they're dangerous if they're brewing and nobody is challenging them, right? But once they become words, now this is an opportunity before it becomes an action, right? So if we, instead of...
But now words are actions now.
Social media is turning into that, but that's my point.
You're right.
Right? We need to start looking at words as a teaching moment. This is an opportunity. I'm not going to dislike you because you said this. Now I want to challenge your thought process. I want to challenge these words. If these words can stand up to the challenge, you're either going to change my mind, right? Or they won't stand up to the challenge. And I might change your mind.
Or you may not.
Or I may not. But those are steps towards not only togetherness, but informing each other, growing each other, the process of life. This is what life is.
Right.
Right? We have our understandings according to our relationship with our lives. What we've seen, what we've heard, what we've experienced, right? And then we form these opinions. And as long as those opinions are in our head, they're going to stay our opinions because nobody has challenged them.
Right.
So why are we making it illegal for people to actually say what's on their mind, for us to sharpen each other's tools?
And then that's the thanks for saying that, because one thing about what cancel culture is doing is making people afraid to speak their truth. So now we're risking actually getting to know each other.
We're risking we're risking finding community.
Yep.
We're risking connectivity. We're risking empowerment.
Yep.
We're risking growth.
Yep.
We're risking a lot.
So it's something that you're talking about, and it really takes a bold stance, and it really takes a level of education. We talk about research. So I want to encourage every viewer to please research assertive communication. And that's what Mahogany is talking about right now. Assertive communication is the way forward, where when you're confident about what you're saying, but you're not aggressively, forcefully pushing your view on anybody. You're not intimidating anybody, but you're having a respectful conversation about your views, your perspectives, where it opens up the lines for people to be able to talk.
For an exchange.
And a lot of us as adults, we don't understand the difference between aggressive and assertive communication.
And that's important.
And assertive communication is actually what brought our relationship back. It took a long time to get there because we just were being, I guess, pighead or whatever. We had our feelings.
We were being typical.
We were we're talking about what we don't want to continue to happen for other people. Because over 10 years of not talking for two very capable people is really crazy. I think about it sometimes like, that was ridiculous.
It was.
That's a long time.
No, it was wild. It was wild.
So being able to have respectful conversations with each other, and it takes time to settle down, to really think about your thoughts, to think about how you feel about things, so the people that you care about, you know what I mean, you're able to have those kind of conversations and not cancel the ones that you love.
Absolutely.
Please research assertive communication.
Or the ones that you may grow to love.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Every scenario isn't the end all be all. You know what I mean? Communication is key. And some relationships grow to be like some of the best relationships of your lifetime. And sometimes we're cutting it off before it even gets to get there.
Yep.
And we don't know it.
Right. But also the conflict is actually the key ingredient to a stronger relationship.
Most often.
Because you feel closer to the person when you've tested the love and you work through something together. Is a connection there now, because you know that it's some real care there. You didn't just throw me away. You didn't just dispose me, which is restorative practice, right? We have to continue to restore our relationships, bring each other in and give each other a chance. And that builds that love, that builds that community back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the way you put that.
I didn't expect to uncover this and this. I didn't look at cancel culture on a micro level. Mm-hmm. I didn't. I didn't realize like the fact that of how we're doing that in our house, in our homes, and our families. And now we're doing on internet to celebrities and people who we, so as, distant
connect
family.
To.
Yeah, that we connect to.
Who we can relate to or connect to.
Yeah, we got to do better.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we got to do better. With the surge of AI and all of that kind of stuff, Googling and everything. I'm not going where you think I'm going.
Okay.
I'm just talking about research.
Go ahead.
So, right? I got you. Like, because we're going to talk about this. Y'all not think. Nobody is thinking no more. No, let's talk about that.
No, I thought, where I thought you was going is we talking about cancel culture.
Yeah.
And people are getting canceled by things that they're posting.
Right.
And we don't know if they posted them.
Oh.
People pages get hacked.
Yo, let me tell you something. Hold up. And the AI stuff when it's making people look like the person and they talking.
And they look just like them. We in a place now.
They're like, yo, so-and-so did a music video together. And then you're like, wait a minute, they not saying the words. That. Yeah, my uncle showed me a video. He was like, yo, he said 50 and what's his name? Tennessee? Cashville, Tennessee, it's in the key. Young Buck. He said, yo, 50 and Young Buck just did a song together. I'm like, no, they didn't. He's like, look. I said, Unc, look, pay attention to this video. This is not going with the, he's like, oh, I said, this is a mashup of the different things. But if you don't know, and that goes back to media literacy. Anyway, my point is, with all the tools available to us for research, if you want to know things, research it. If you want to figure out, how can I build a better relationship with my children? Mm. How can I, have a calm discussion with my siblings about how do I get a relationship? Research these things. All the information is out there. We don't have to be distant from each other because you don't know how. The know-how is at the tips of your fingers. Just go find it. Get the information.
Be courageous enough.
Yeah.
That's it.
And bold enough, yeah.
Yeah, be courageous enough. That's my biggest thing today is that everybody lacks courage.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of like...
Because that's the tough stuff. People think it's tough not talking. That's easy. That's the easiest thing you can do.
To ghost somebody, I'm out of here. You don't got to deal with nothing.
Nothing. The easiest thing you could do is cancel, ghost, and stop talking to somebody. The tough stuff is sitting down and having that conversation.
Sitting in all them feelings.
For real.
Sitting in the conversation of it all, the questions of it all, the challenge of it all.
Right.
That's where
taking accountability.
That's where the real test is at.
That's where the sweat is at.
And that's what most people don't have.
Yeah.
Courage is a lost skill.
Yeah.
I'm courageous as hell in my everyday life. And that is the biggest thing that I look for in the people I align with.
Yep.
You have to be courageous enough.
You gotta be courageous, man.
Because even if you're not courageous enough for that, you're not even courageous enough to be you.
Mm-hmm.
How
I want a chest bump.
Stupid.
That was good.
You're not even courageous enough to be you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to worry about those people.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people I'd be like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Soon as, I wouldn't have did this with you.
Right.
This show couldn't have happened if I didn't have faith in the fact that you were courageous.
Right.
Because I'm understanding that we're having discussions that are going to challenge things.
Right.
So there are going to be people who are going to have things to say and try to shut our mouths and and separate us, divide and conquer, all of that.
Right.
If I didn't have that understanding already, this is not something that I would be able to.
Right.
She's gonna sit with it, think about what's being said, dissect it. If you can't do that, I can't trust you.
You can't, because you're not sitting in yourself. So everybody controls you. Yeah. So do the real tough work for real.
Diligence.
Yeah, we being real soft out here thinking we being tough. We not. Being real soft.
Soft.
Yeah. Little chumps. Have a conversation.
Facts. I'm Mahogany.
I'm Age.
And this is Culture Currency.
But culture
is the value.
Make sure you like, subscribe,
comment, share.
Please do.
We
On
appreciate
YouTube.
you.
Thank you. Peace.